evening. Welcome, viewers. Welcome, Uday Krishnaji.
Good
We are
evening.
helping you within very short period. It was wonderful discussion the other day with you, and now today is very important one. We are going to cover 22nd of April, Earth Day. It's not only a day just to celebrate or do your things, but also it is a day when people has to think what we are going to leave behind for our kids, for our next generation and the generations to come. The only problem at this moment, the world is moving very fast, and this faster movement created a lot of good things, a lot of development, electricity, automobiles, aircrafts, and easy movements. So we have got another friend with us. Uh, Let him join. I'll put him. So, my guests, we have friends with us, Uday Krishna Pediredriji, the Executive Director of Mirai Envano Solutions. And we will also have Varatji joining right away. He has just landed up from the airport, just but because of our viewers and request, he is joining. So a couple of minutes may be late. So meanwhile, we will be continuing with Udayji. So basically, if we consider you as a pivotal point of our discussion, you are a naturalist. That is the main identity which I can bind with you. And already you are famous as a tree man of India. And you also know that I am a wildlife photographer too. So both of us more close to the nature. We have seen even plastics, PET bottles, carry bags. These are inside a national park. Even the Sundarban, that is one of the mangrove forest, there is strictly zone, no plastic zone, but still you will get the plastic there. So this plastic has become a menace of the development. So sir, what is your opinion, and you are telling that you had an encounter of this plastic issue? So can you just guide us through your experience in this pollution world?
Uh,
Over to you.
Basically, fortunately, unfortunately, I get to spend a lot of time in the remote areas, like in jungles and small villages, and across Maharashtra and many other states. And four years back, I in fact wrote one small story, uh, titled it "Migration of Our Sins." So this basically what is happening is the small villages, very tiny, 200 homes, 100 homes, all spread across across the country. There is absolutely no treatment of waste, and most of the waste that is being generated there is plastic. So these villages basically they end up either burning it or just dumping it in a dry rivulet in close to their village. So when monsoon sets in, the water starts flowing in these little rivulets. Plastic starts flowing with the water. So I have seen with my eyes. I spent a lot of time in Tippeshwar, where the first 2 years of my presence in the jungle, I've cleansed the entire jungle of plastic. It took me 2 years for a very small jungle, and like places like Sundarban, Ranthambore, they are massive. So after cleaning the jungle, I started looking around near the villages. So villagers were just dumping in the rivulets. So I spoke to them. I said, "See, this is what is happening. All this plastic, where does it go? From the little village, it flows into the rivulet. From there into a tributary. From there into maybe the main river, where in my case was Penganga. From Penganga, it becomes Godavari and then goes into the Indian Ocean. In the ocean, there is a current. There is a underground, under the water grid. It's called the ocean grid, through which the ocean water also flows like a river. It takes about 2,500 years for one cycle of that river. So, I think my colleague Bharat has just joined in.
Namaskar, Bharatji. Welcome. I know you are traveling inside
Sir,
a
Namaste.
car,
I'm very
so
sorry. My sincere apologies
no, no, no,
because the
not an
flight was
issue.
delayed by 1 hour.
No, not an issue, sir. You
Yes, sir.
hope you are not driving, right?
No, 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 sir. I'm not driving, sir.
Then fine. Then you just be on the call and see how the things moves. Udayji was just explaining
Yes, sir.
how the encounter with
Yes, sir.
plastic and Penganga. So let us listen to the story,
Oh,
sir.
yeah.
So
Yes,
all
sir.
this plastic from the little rivulets goes into tributaries and then into the main river and then flows into the ocean. And along the ocean current, which is basically the ocean grid, it's like a river under the ocean, which flows across the globe and takes about 2,500 years to do one cycle. But in that cycle, in a spot near Pacific Ocean, all of this plastic is getting accumulated. Now it's become a huge island of plastic. So that put me, this is one very big issue, which is not just for a small village back in Maharashtra, but across the country and maybe, of course, across the globe. Many of the more advanced, developed countries are processing their plastic, but the underdeveloped third world countries, not much of processing is going on. Either they burn the plastic or they just dump it into the rivers and it flows into the ocean. So that was one which was always there in my background. And Mirai and Mirano team started keeping this issue in mind. And I really got into this company with this whole, because I see a future in this company and the product where we basically process most of the trash that is unprocessable, single-use plastic, which is being burned. It is control in a controlled environment. We process this, and in the process, we also generate electricity. So this technology is at this point I can say out of the world. And, of course, Bharat being my the technical director, I would rather have him explain about the technology.
Definitely.
Bharat,
Yeah.
maybe you can switch on the car inside light, Bharat.
Right,
We can
right, okay.
we can't see you.
Right, Anjura. So this is the maximum light I could afford here.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, sir. So basically, you very well know that how difficult it is to manage waste, and not only in India, and I can also say that around the globe, waste management is a very big crisis. Not only regarding the management, if we don't treat it at the right time, probably it's going to ruin the further generations as well. Because waste management is only not only limited to your piling up of landfills, but it is also piling up for creating health hazards regarding your water pollution, underground water pollution, and at the same time, burning of waste also creates air pollutions. So it's a series of problems. It is a chain reaction, and at the same time, just by dumping waste into the landfill or by treating only 5 or 10% of the waste will not solve the purpose here. Why? Because your landfill remains forever. So it is that your waste is getting transported from one point to another point. That's it. Like we are not able to give any solutions, and this remains for millions of years. So this is a big issue. This is a big criteria which presently we are facing. And at the same time, right now, many companies and many organizations and also many social service people also they're all working on certain technologies to come out and in fact, waste to energy is in fact 1 week before also government has decided to set up about 295 waste to energy plant also. So that is a very great initiative, and at the same time, we have been constantly on track regarding biomethanization and biogas plants, and you have composting units, you have rapid composting, you have segregations, and so since everything is in place, so ultimately certain amount of waste which is going to the landfill, so they're treating the landfill again. Once it goes to the landfill, again handling the landfill waste is again another challenge, because ultimately humans are the one who have to go to the landfill and try to walk along with the landfill areas there, and it's so tough especially we cannot have multiple shifts also. Hardly one shift, maximum by 8 o'clock in the morning you can start, and by 6 o'clock you have to end, because after 6 o'clock you cannot just stand in a landfill area at all. It is highly impossible for any human. And if you can see a lot of, because this garbage pickers every day in the morning who they come and pick it up, their health is continuously deteriorating. For example, a 40-year-old health can be compared to about 65-year-old person's health. So this is continuously monitoring, and it is a serious human rights also. So all these things are involved. So what we have thought is, and at the same time, India has invested more than 30,000 to 40,000 crore of money on waste to energy, and certain projects are not running at all. So I can say 75% of the waste to energy projects are not functional. It might be advanced, and it is definitely on par with the present technologies available in the world. But Indian waste itself is a challenge, because we generate a lot of wet waste also, and at the same time we generate a lot of plastic waste as well. So here what is happening is, so generally why there is a failure in present Indian market is in waste to energy plants erected by numerous organizations. Why? Because you have a limit. Here what happens is your water will get converted into steam at around 100 degrees centigrade, and for the turbine to again function, so it has to be a latent and superheated steam. The superheated steam is again it is available only at around 550 degrees plus 550 degrees. The moment you reach 400 degrees, again there is a wet content in the steam. Because of that, because ultimately everybody knows that neither heat or energy can be created nor be destroyed. So it can only be converted from one form to another. So here, in order for us to achieve 550 degrees of steam, so we need a minimum of about 1,800, 2,000 degrees to burn the waste. We can burn the waste at 2,000 degrees subject to combustion. Then subsequently we can generate a steam of 550 degrees plus. So that is in turn used to run the turbine and generate electricity. Again, we have a challenge here. The challenge is, the moment we take the temperatures beyond 1,500 degrees, if you combust the waste, you have NOx. There is a NOx and SOx components will be too high. Yes, NOx especially is beyond 1,000 ppm. So again, in order to treat that NOx, again we need to have an equipment which is costing not less than 8-9 crores to treat a 100-ton plant. So only for the controlling NOx, we are spending 9 crores, 10 crores, and 100 for treating 120, 130 ton waste. In fact, Goa has spent more than 375 crores, and Telangana has spent more than 5,000 crores. So the scalability and also the value of investment on the capital put is going too high. It is eating away money in hundreds of crores. So for this, probably we have also done a lot of research, and we have been running the plan from 2014 onwards. So we have been running this and trying to study the entire thing. So we have come up with a very very unique concept, wherein we don't try to use too much of fuel and other stuff. So what we have done, no, sir, what we have done is, as per the pollution control board norms, we have to maintain 850 degrees centigrade. So here, what we have done is, we are mainly concentrating on air. So what happens here is, air has got oxygen, carbon dioxide, then nitrogen, and other stuff, argon and other stuff. But in order for the combustion to take place, we need only oxygen. Oxygen component is everything in combustion. So we pass it through a certain samarium cobalt lodestones, wherein it attracts the oxygen component, and it doesn't reflect, but it doesn't allow the nitrogen also to get attracted to the lodestone. So we attract more of oxygen. For example, if we have 20% of oxygen, when we get into the system, we supply about 24 to 25% of oxygen. This 25% of oxygen in the chamber is sufficient to take the temperature to beyond 850 900 degrees. So we treat the waste without using any kind of fuel. So the garbage itself, the waste itself is a fuel for this particular mission. We don't have to add
Uh,
up other you have your
I'll, Bharat, I'll interrupt just for a second. I think you've lost him. Bharat, you are
Uh,
there?
I think there is a tower problem. So, viewers,
So
what
actually,
Bharatji was telling, uh,
Yes, sir.
there is a
Sorry.
disruption because of the tower thing.
Yeah, yeah,
Bharatji, in between there is a network issue. Since you
yeah,
are
yeah, yeah.
traveling by car, it is very much obvious.
Yes, sir.
So,
Yes,
what
sir.
we have understood from your discussion, it is a in-depth
Yes,
technical know-how that how the things
yes.
is happening. Now,
Correct.
let me ask you one question from a pure layman point of view. A
Yes, sir.
corporator,
Yes, sir.
chairman of the municipality, or the mayor of
Yes,
a city, he or
yes,
she wants the entire city garbage to be disposed of, and at the same
yes,
time, there is no health hazard to the people who are dealing with it. Number one.
yes,
Number
yes.
two, while disposing of, it will
Yeah.
not be a hazard for the environment. Number
Correct.
2 point. Number three
Yes.
point, even if you
Yeah.
try to convert, during
Yeah.
this conversion, it will not
Yes.
generate a very harmful any substance or chemicals in this
Yes.
process. So
Yes.
otherwise, if we say the net effect of the environment and the people will be very
Yeah.
less. There could be
Correct.
effect, but that is very less.
Correct.
And fourth important point is within
Yes, sir.
this process which you are implementing, that
Yes.
entire garbage which is
Yes.
otherwise a menace will
Yes.
become a power, electricity, or
Correct.
a
Correct.
source of energy
Correct.
to be
Sir,
utilized for the other purpose.
perfect. Perfect. Yes.
Correct. So,
Correct.
Bharatji, for our
Yes, sir.
viewers' understanding, what we
Yes.
had been gifted by Lord,
Yes.
गॉड अल्लाह वट एवर यू से, भगवान
Yes.
ने जो दिया हमको और हमने
Yes, sir.
उसको कैसे बर्बाद किया, तो उसके लिए एक
Correct.
छोटा सा 2 मिनट्स का वीडियो है हम लोगों का. सो आई
ठीक
वांट
है.
टू शेयर इट विथ यू एंड उदय जी एंड along with our viewers. Just
Definitely.
see, sir, and then we'll come
Yes,
back
sir.
to you again.
Definitely.
IBG News Market Dose series with analyst Vishal Sharma. Know your stock market and take informed decisions. No risk, no gain. Without knowledge, everything is pain. Trade responsibly. Make your safest bet to reduce loss.
The Call of the Wild, it's payback time to Mother Nature. IBG News Earth Day Initiative. We are always searching for paradise after death, but God has already gifted us with one here called Mother Earth. Walk down the riverbank or beside the seaside or the snowscape mountains. You will experience the most beautiful manifestation of Mother Nature. Rain and forests are the natural playground of ecology and are most important for the survival of all of us. But as civilization moves, garbage has become one major area of concern for all. Pollution, disease, and quality of environment all became vulnerable. Managing garbage produced every day is a nightmare when it is millions of tons within a week. So disposing of the garbage and getting electricity from the same could be a game changer for the corporations and city planning team. So this Earth Day, let's study and discuss sustainable development through waste management, to make our Mother Earth once again a paradise.
So we are back again. Bharatji, we started this online news environment back in 2004, the first one from the Eastern India itself. Now, what we tried to accommodate in 2 minutes, hope it
Yeah.
justifies your talk.
Definitely. Definitely.
So,
Definitely.
sir, I am expecting one guest from USA. He is also
sir.
driving in Texas, Houston back. He will be joining. He is a global project manager for the implementation of big ticket
Very nice.
projects. Okay. And he may be asking you for obvious questions, which could be a big implementation way ahead. So let us wait for him. And first of all, I want to ask you one question. Say, for example,
Yeah.
I want to make my city, Calcutta, a cleaner one, garbage free, and the corporation wants to have the same system. So
Hello.
typically, will it be a good
Yeah.
idea to have a single dump yard
Yeah.
and install a plant there, or if it is already they are having small dump yard based on the different wards, boroughs, and stuff like that, and there can be small plant even available, and
Yeah.
locally they can dispose of. Less carrying will be there from one place to another.
Yeah. So the main issue with having a yeah, that main issue with having a centralized landfill is the transportation cost. The transportation cost involved in for Bangalore is about 800 crores an annum, and that is increasing. This is the statistics of 2019. So now we would have already touched 1,000 crores is only spent on transportation of the waste. Transporting, in the sense, transporting the waste from, it's just transferring your problems from one place to another. But having an probably a decentralized model so that we don't have to transport the waste is again a major challenge. And implementing these projects, small projects, for example, a ward level hardly generates 5 to 10 tons of waste, and taking that 10 tons of waste all the way about 50 kilometers every day is literally a disaster. So what we have planned is to generate electricity. Ours is the only system where we can generate electricity using a 5-ton machine also, and also a 10-ton unit. So we can generate electricity to any volume from any volume of waste. So that is why probably we prefer having a 5-ton plant everywhere in and around, than generating electricity, and the waste which is being generated from the same household, we can even give back electricity from the waste generated from them. So this is how we have
Bharatji, for understanding of our viewers,
Yeah.
those who are not that much technical person, let me
Yeah.
give an idea. Say, for
Yeah.
example, the people who are in Bangalore, if I took
Yes.
the area of Karmangala or the
Yes.
MG Road area,
Yes.
they are the Mayo Hall nearby. So these
Yes.
one small ward can have a 10 to 15 tons of waste, maybe 1 or 2 days itself.
Exactly. 1 or 2 days they
So
can generate easily 10 to
So
15 tons.
their local office of municipal corporation can implement a plant and get rid of this waste without transporting it in big
Without
lorries
that.
and trucks and other stuff. That
Not
is also
required.
a challenge
Yeah.
moving
Yes.
through this narrow lanes of the old cities.
So in fact,
Yeah.
I'll interrupt. Actually, it's come down to a point where we have to have one machine in each little community. Like even a gated community can have a machine. So that will be the ideal situation where it is processed right at the point where it is generated. So there's absolutely
Exactly.
no transportation at all. Not much of segregation is required. So of
Correct.
course, Bharat being he's a technical guy, so he gives you a very technical view. But I'm a commerce guy. I'll try and give a little
Yes. Definitely.
in a layman's view.
Yeah.
So basically, this machine processes most of the solid waste without segregation. So except for
No,
metals,
Udayji, one important aspect here in waste. Normally, there are three types of waste. One is solid, semi-solid, and liquid waste. In case of your plant, I think we are discussing only for the solid and semi-solid waste, maybe
Correct.
yes,
not the liquid one, because
the
liquid
liquid
one will has to be gone through the STB plant, sewage treatment
Yes.
plant, and others.
Yes.
So this is
Correct.
here we are discussing the issues with solid and semi-solid waste,
yes.
which is a
Correct.
big headache.
Exactly.
Because
And
if the
solid waste also. Yeah.
plastic is there, it will not disposed of normally. If it is a biohazard metal or something like that, that will also not get disposed of. So this system will take
Correct.
care of all these things. And
Yes.
even
Exactly.
after 10 tons of waste, burning and other whatever process conversion you are using, it may be coming down to 100 or 150 kgs or something like
Yes.
daily waste. So that can be
Yes.
disposed of in a safer way to a remote place where the
Exactly.
requirement for the land will be less. With a
Exactly.
standard dump yard of a city, existing dump yard, that can be used
Correct.
100 times more days
Yes.
normally what
Correct.
is used today. Say for
Correct,
example, in an acre of land, you can hold 1 month of garbage that can be hold up year long or 2 years long garbage there after processing
Correct.
through your plant.
Correct. You're
So
right.
that is a savings in the land bank also.
Yes, sir.
Correct.
So
You're right.
that is one area where we are pushing Tata, is the legacy waste, which have been accumulating over the last few decades. So many
So
municipalities, hundreds of acres.
let's welcome Mr. Kajal. Kajal ji, very
Hello.
good morning to you in US.
Good morning. Good
Uh,
morning.
Good morning to you, sir.
Dear friends and viewers who have joined latter part, let me introduce Kajal ji is a very seasoned and experienced project manager who is managing big ticket projects globally, and factories, establishment, and all these things in $1 billion project he is handling. He is very keen on knowing what your waste management plant is doing and what is the scope which can be implemented in India or elsewhere. So we are having a technical guy as well as prospect client contact even. So let us have the discussion in that way. Bharat ji, you are from Bangalore. Uday ji, you are from Hyderabad. Both are from the Mirai Environmental Solutions. Kajal ji, they are expert in the managing of waste to electricity. And I myself representing IBG News. You are also one of the editor from US.
Yes.
So most welcome, sir. Till
Nice
now,
to meet you. Nice to meet you, Uday and Bharat. Sorry, it is cold here. It is so cold here, so I had to wear jacket. You know.
You're making us,
Yeah, we can
you're making us feel jealous. It is 44 degrees here in Hyderabad.
Oh, is that right?
okay. So Bharat ji, what I was
Yes,
asking you before Mr. Kajal joined, that basically we are having solid, semi-solid, and liquid waste. We are not treating the liquid waste here. Solid and semi-solid
Correct.
waste that can be accumulated, that can be processed with combustion, and that energy will be converted into electricity or any other form of energy. And the residue and garbage volume is very less. So the
Correct.
transportation cost, which is almost 1,000 crores for a city in a
Yes.
year, that can be reduced or maybe negligible considered to the present cost. Number one benefit.
Correct.
Number two benefit, the huge land piling up. That will be just away. The piling up of the entire thing will be reduced. So 1 acre of land can hold, whereas it was holding 1 week of garbage, now it can hold up to 1 year of garbage. So
Correct.
that is the end benefit of the land bank. The price, prime lands in a city like Bangalore, Hyderabad, Kolkata, Mumbai, Delhi, or elsewhere, that will be a big benefit or boost to the city corporation. That land can be used for medical benefit facilities like hospitals or any other college, university, library for more productive work. Instead of wasting it and damaging to the nature, it can be used as a value addition to the public life.
Exactly.
Now, coming back to Bharat ji, if we are looking for a small 5-ton plant or 10-ton plant,
Yeah.
well, exact pinpoint costing you don't have to give right now, but approximately, can you guide us that what could be a cost level for an organization, say for one hospital or one corporation wants to have a 5-ton or 10-ton, and will you be able to support pan India or globally any place where these plants can be implemented? What is your take on this, sir?
So definitely, because what happens is in solid waste you have different categories. Like you have domestic hazardous waste, you have wet waste, dry waste, then you have biomedical waste, then you have biohazardous waste. Right now, presently in India, we are only treating only the wet waste, dry waste. So these are the two bags which presently we are having in India. Presently, we'll be adding up another plant very soon. We have already started in all the malls and other stuff. A domestic hazardous waste plant is bin is also added. So for a 5-ton plant, probably we can we have probably in Bangalore, which we have given for a hazardous waste management plant. The 10-ton plant we have given it for about 8 crores, 8 to 9 crores. So depending on the geographical area as well. And for a 5-ton plant, we have given it for 4 to 5 crores. we have
So
given.
roughly, if we think of, it's just a cost of peanut. If you think of
Exactly.
from the value addition and the thing from a city perspective, a
Correct.
city wherein a population is around 1.5 crores, 10 rupees
Correct.
a person, and
Correct.
you can have waste management plant for say your ward or something like that.
Correct.
So one by one, if you go,
I'll
10
interfere.
rupees a day, if people can provide, then the city corporation is good enough to cover the entire city within a month or so.
Easily.
I'll intervene. Just one thing over here. One very crucial information. Basically, the machine has a capital investment and an operational investment. The OPEX is very, very low. We don't use any fuel or we don't use any power to run the machine. So that is one of the biggest.
Oh.
There's not much of an input
Yes.
cost.
So that means the running cost is very low.
It's exactly. So this is a bigger advantage which we just missed in the discussion. So we don't have any fuel or electricity consumption for processing the solid waste. We do need electricity for the smaller ancillary systems like the scrubber or the water pump, which is about 7% of the power it can generate. So, Bharat, you can correct the number. if
That
I'm
will be
wrong.
a biggest. That will be the big savings.
That's the biggest thing. So that will make a difference between the existing technologies and our technology. So we don't
Correct.
consume power or fuel to process the solid waste.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So, Bharatji, let me add the another question to Uday's answer here. Say for some remote places like Darjeeling Gota, the Queen of Hills, one of the oldest municipality in the Darjeeling is there. Waste management there is a really challenge because it's a hilly terrain, and power cut is a very big issues in the hills. You know, Uday, even Ooty, Shimla, Manali, or Jammu Kashmir, Leh, Ladakh, these remote places, Itanagar or Arunachal, Aizawl, Mizoram, and Shillong, all these places. So if it is not requiring any power to run, then it is a really boon for the city corporation in these remote places, or even Chaibasa, Lakshadweep, Andamans, where their scarcity of electricity from the traditional sources is there. This can become a value addition to them.
Absolutely, absolutely.
In fact, we have already installed our plant in Leh Ladakh. Then now, because these hilly areas, what happens is that there's no availability of land at all. So ultimately, they have to get the waste all the way to the bottom, to the foothills, and then dispose the waste. Recently, what happened in Vaishno Devi also, because of the garbage dump yard at the bottom of foothills, there was a helicopter crash as well because there was a bird hit for the copter, and one lady pilot had to lose her life. So this, in these circumstances, what we have done is we have already implemented a project in Leh Ladakh. Then now Itanagar probably will be implementing in next 1 month, and we have already started implementing in Kamakhya Devi Mandir. Now we are presently implementing projects, in Guwahati, and 2 projects we are implementing in Gangotri and Yamunotri. So this all under Prasad scheme, which we are implementing all these machines in the hilly regions. So here the waste generation is hardly 1 or 2 tons only. So, and at the same time, when I say I have executed a project in Leh Ladakh, so our machine is already running from past 2 years in Ladakh. So at that high altitude, there is no oxygen as well. There's about 50% of availability of oxygen only. Even though at just 50%, we are able to run this system successfully. And in fact, the machine has performed so good that the authorities have already started, they've already floated a tender for a 30-ton plant to dispose the waste of Indian Army waste. During the face off with China, they generated a lot of waste. So that waste disposal, 30 tons per day also we are implementing. Probably in another next 3 months that will also be implemented. And coming to
AMC, in case of your plant, if I install the plant in my city, what would be the annual maintenance and other stuff, running costs? How many people you need to run this machine?
The AMC normally comes up to maximum 5% of the project cost, Baba. And the dependency of labor is very, very low. Like for a 100-ton machine, you can manage it with about 4 people at the most.
Yes.
So
Yes.
100-ton machine with the 4 people.
Just 4 people.
Exactly.
And,
Our
and,
system
and what,
fully
what is the total
automated.
area required?
Pardon me, sir?
10,000 square feet.
10,000 square.
Yeah.
10,000 square feet. And this particular
Go ahead, Bharat.
this particular system is totally PLC automated. There is no human intervention at all. The garbage does not come in contact with any humans. Humans will not touch the garbage. It is totally loaded automatically, and we have a conveyor systems and PLC automated systems to load the waste, to dispose the waste, to monitor emissions, and the generation of electricity also is totally monitored using a totally automated system. So there is no manual intervention for our system.
So
That's
that
why we-
means the effect on people who are handling these machines, their
Yes.
healths are also safe. So
Correct.
almost we can say they are working with zero hazard with these machines.
Correct. Exactly. Yes.
And who actually bring that waste thing? Is that from the city or
It is a city
government do
corporation
that,
which
or-
gets in.
Beg your
City
pardon?
corporation.
Okay, so you
There's a
have to,
city municipality gets the waste to our location, and then we'll have a big pit there. For example, a 100-ton plant will have a big chute like thing. The truck will directly load the waste into the chute.
See in this screen now, beside this part, Suman Munshi, chief editor, this is a small image of that machine.
The plant, yes.
Okay,
Yes.
that plant, and if our viewers want, we can share that image as well. So what happens if you look at this, you will get a feeling that from one end it is getting the input of the garbage, the other
Yes.
end with after the process the small section is coming out, and that needs to be disposed of. That is the understanding. Is it correct?
It's totally neutralized ceramic ash, which is not toxic. So it's very safe to put into landfills. It can be used as manure. It can be used in cement to make cement bricks. So it's
Even this ceramic ash can be used for the initial pavement or paving of the new roads or something like that.
Yes.
That can be a good usage of before putting the asphalt and others for making the basement of the road. That can be
Correct.
easily done also.
Yes.
So that is again a value addition.
Yes, sir. And at the next thing is, if you want further value addition, what we can do is there is a lot of sulfur in the flue gas. The sulfur is there in the waste. So when we add this lime powder and we pass the flue gas through the lime, then you will have your calcium sulfate. The moment you have calcium sulfate, that is directly used as gypsum for your interior work. If you see, it is
so you're saying that there's a byproduct. Which
there's a
is-
byproduct. Yeah, there's
And
ash also. You have a byproduct. Flue gas also you have a byproduct, and the heat also is converted into electricity.
Oh, I see. So it's
Yeah.
not just only electricity producing; it's just be a byproduct. There's so many other byproduct too.
There's so many other byproducts which we are concentrating on.
So, Bharat ji, if I have understood right from a layman's point of view,
Yeah.
your machine not only eating up with the entire garbage, but
Yes.
also it is giving us some good
Yes.
byproduct as chemical compounds, good
Correct.
byproduct as energy components, and
Correct. Yes.
on top of it, no human hazard for
Correct.
handling this garbage for processing. So
Exactly.
that is the best part of it.
Yes.
तो
sir.
दोस्तों आप लोगों के लिए मैं थोड़ा हिंदी में इसको ब्रीफ कर दूं. What Mirai Envano Solutions has created is a great thing for India कि हम लोगों को ये पूरा इंडिजिनस टेक्नोलॉजी से बना हुआ ये चीज है जहां पे आपका कचरा अंदर जाता है, सॉलिड एंड सेमी सॉलिड कचरा अंदर जाता है मशीन का ऑटोमेटेड प्रोसेस से. कोई आदमी को इसको इंटरवेंट नहीं करना पड़ रहा है, उसको हेल्थ का कोई हैजर्ड नहीं है. फिर वहां से ब्लू गैस निकलता, कैल्शियम सल्फेट करके जिप्सम जैसा चीज निकलता है जो आपका होम इंटीरियर प्लास्टर्स एंड उसमें यूज हो जाता है. आपका जो एस्फल्ट के रोड होते हैं उसके नीचे हम लोग डाल सकते हैं, उसका जो एशेस निकल रहा है वो भी एक बाई प्रोडक्ट है जहां पे विदाउट हार्मिंग द नेचर दैट कैन बी यूज्ड. on the ground of roads or any pavement making or something like that. And the energy which is coming out in form of electricity that can be utilized, वो बाहर में अपना रोड का जो बत्ती जलाना पड़ता है म्यूनिसिपल कॉर्पोरेशन को या कोई भी हॉस्पिटल को या बड़ा प्लांट को, that also can be done as a positive part. तो एक टेक्निकल क्वेश्चन यहाँ पे आता है भरत जी,
Yes, sir.
what is the capacity of a say 100 ton plant कोई लगाता है तो कितना इलेक्ट्रिसिटी निकालता है दिन में?
100 ton, from a 100 ton waste, we can generate about 4 to 5 megawatt of electricity.
If a plant is absorbing 100 tons a day, that means 4 to 5 megawatt will be generated. So in a month, if it is running
Yes.
30 days, we are having also approximately 120 to 150 megawatts of energy.
Correct.
It's a quite
Correct,
good.
exactly.
It's a semi power plant
It's
itself.
quite good. Yes, because it is this particular turbines what we are using is 3 times more efficient than the steam turbines.
And just think of the in the hilly regions, जहाँ पे अपना
Yes.
उत्तरांचल, शिमला, अपना हिमाचल, जम्मू कश्मीर, लद्दाख और नॉर्थ ईस्टर्न पूरा area. If we consider
Yes.
this and our Nepal, Bhutan, all these neighboring friend countries, if they
Yeah.
implement this kind of solution, the entire garbage which is creating hazard for the aircrafts because of birds coming and flying nearby airports. Calcutta airports is very prone to this because
Yes.
eagles, vultures, all these are
Correct.
moving around because of the dump yard in Dhapa. There is a nearby dump yard in the Impai Pass. So
Okay.
if it is completely used up, so then that bird hazard will not be there for the pilots, and that would
Correct.
save a important aircraft as a tool and also the human life. So
Correct.
that's a very
Exactly.
good thing, and
And
even for
yes,
our Air Force guys.
Yeah, and the department can reclaim most of the land that is locked up in trash now. So it will
तो
free up a lot of land.
अभी एक बार विथ योर परमिशन काजल जी ज्वाइन करने के बाद हम लोग वो देखा नहीं है, एंड फॉर द व्यूअर्स हु जॉइंड लेट we want to showcase again our small video about that nature. With your permission, I'm taking 1.5 minutes time of yours. Just see what we have to say about the waste to energy.
IBG News Market Dose series with analyst Vishal Sharma. Know your stock market and take informed decisions. No risk, no gain. Without knowledge, everything is pain. Trade responsibly. Make your safest bet to reduce loss.
The call of the wild, it's payback time to Mother Nature. IBG News Earth Day Initiative. We are always searching for paradise after death, but God has already gifted us with one here called Mother Earth. Walk down the riverbank or beside the seaside or the snowscape mountains. You will experience the most beautiful manifestation of Mother Nature. Rain and forests are the natural playground of ecology and are most important for the survival of all of us. But as civilization moves, garbage has become one major area of concern for all. Pollution, disease, and quality of environment all became vulnerable. Managing garbage produced every day is a nightmare when it is millions of tons within a week. So disposing of the garbage and getting electricity from the same could be a game changer for the corporations and city planning team. So this Earth Day, let's study and discuss sustainable development through waste management to make our Mother Earth once again a paradise.
Namaskar. Again, we are coming back. Thank you, Kajal ji. Thank you, Uday. And thank you, Bharat ji. So, it's a wonderful session and enlightenment that garbage can be a boon for all.
Yes.
I want to speak this in Bengali since a lot of Bengali people has joined. and you people can also articulate in your own vernaculars so that most of our friends can understand. বন্ধুরা, আমরা যেটা বলতে চাইছি, আমাদের শহর জীবনে সবচেয়ে বড় প্রবলেম হচ্ছে গার্বেজ। এই গার্বেজটাকে প্রবলেম থেকে কিভাবে আশীর্বাদে কনভার্ট করা যায়, কিভাবে সেটাকে জীবনে একটা পজিটিভ দিকে নিয়ে আসা যায়, তারই রাস্তা দেখাচ্ছেন উদয় কৃষ্ণা পেদি রেড্ডি অ্যান্ড ভরতজি। এনারা দুজনেই মেরাই এনভায়রন সলিউশন থেকে জয়েন করেছেন আজকে, একজন হায়দ্রাবাদ থেকে, একজন বেঙ্গালুরু থেকে, এবং আমাদের সাথে রয়েছেন কাজল ভট্টাচার্য সুদূর আমেরিকার হিউস্টন থেকে। উনি আমাদের নর্থ আমেরিকা এডিটর অ্যাজ ওয়েল। তো আমরা যেটা এখানে দেখতে পেলাম, যে কোনো শহরের সিটি কর্পোরেশন বলুন, কোনো বড় অর্গানাইজেশন বলুন, তাদের যে গার্বেজটা থাকে সেই গার্বেজটাকে আপ টু 5 টন টু 100 টন যদি আমরা চিন্তা করি পার ডে, সেটাকে প্রসেস করে মানুষের কোনো রকম ইন্টারভেনশন ছাড়া, মানুষের হাত লাগাতে হবে না, এই গার্বেজটা এনার্জিতে কনভার্ট হয়ে যাবে। সেই এনার্জি থেকে আপনারা ইলেকট্রিসিটি পেতে পারেন, হিট এনার্জি পেতে পারেন, এবং কেমিক্যাল বাই প্রোডাক্ট হিসেবে ক্যালসিয়াম সালফেট জিপসাম, যেটা ঘরের প্লাস্টার করতে কাজে লাগে, আপনারা পেতে পারেন ব্লু গ্যাস, আপনারা পেতে পারেন আপনাদের অ্যাসফল্ট রাস্তার নিচে ফেলার জন্য অ্যাশ, যেটা পুরোপুরি এনভায়রনমেন্ট ফ্রেন্ডলি। অর্থাৎ টোটাল যে জিনিসটা আফটার প্রসেস বেরিয়ে আসছে সেটা কোনোভাবেই এনভায়রনমেন্টের ক্ষতি করছে না, নট অ্যাট অল হার্মফুল টু দ্য এনভায়রনমেন্ট। তাই বাংলার সমস্ত ছেলেমেয়েরা, আমাদের এইটার যে সেশনটা চলে, এটা হচ্ছে অল্টারনেটিভ জব আইডিয়াস অ্যান্ড বিজনেস আইডিয়াস ফর অল। আন্ডার দিস হোয়াট উই আর সেইং কি তোমরা যদি কেউ কর্মসংস্থান খুঁজে পেতে চাও, তাহলে এই রকম সুন্দরভাবেও প্রকৃতির সাস্টেনেবল ডেভেলপমেন্ট করে আমরা চাকরি করতে পারি, ব্যবসা করতে পারি, এবং মিরাই আমাদের সাথে থাকবে তাদের এই প্রোডাক্টের সলিউশন নিয়ে। সো আসুন, লেটস বিল্ড এ টিম অ্যান্ড get rid of garbage from India and world elsewhere with a good byproduct, energy, and the chemical byproducts which could be used for other systems. And this scheme becomes an earning source for the city corporations. Thank you, Uday. Thank you, Kajalji. Kajalji, do you have any other questions to Uday? Uday is the executive director.
No, I was kind of thinking there about the financing stage. What is that? What is required, and where is that should come from?
We are trying to get help from the Swachh Bharat mission, Kajalji. This is for the Indian markets. So, because the main target areas is the tier 2, tier 3 towns, the smaller villages, where they don't have that much of a budget, but at the same time nothing is being done to the waste that's been generated in those areas. So we are trying to get some help from the central government to subsidize this machine so that it can be used at the source, just like how in a city we're trying to go at the source of the generation. In a state also we're trying to go at the source of these where this trash is being generated, like little villages, little towns, where the solid waste is not being processed. So with a little help from the central government, we are trying to get these machines financed and installed at these areas.
Okay, all right, sounds good. Because I'm also kind of thinking about it, and maybe I will talk to Shumon later on, and then come back to some idea and see if we can do something in Houston or around that area. And marketing could be the big thing, because I'm not a marketing guy, of course, So,
Make in India, make in India. Let's flourish globally.
yeah. So
that's a good thing. So Uday, we have already taken your time, so we will not stretch this because of traveling. I think Bharatji's battery got drained. So it was a wonderful session. So luckily he finished off his part of the discussion. So please convey my best wishes to, and thanks for joining with us. We will be ending our discussion here today. And once again, Kajalji, thanks to you for taking out your time, joining with us. Udayji, God bless you all
Thank you.
and have a nice time ahead. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
viewers, for joining with us.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Thanks a lot.
And have a nice day at
And
USL.
nice to meet you, Mr. Uday, and we'll come back to you with some more question if we have.
Soon we'll be having a,
I'm
a
sure you
session with.
have.
We'll be in touch.
Yeah.
Yes, sure.
Thank
My
you.
pleasure.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you
Bye-bye.
very much.
Bye.
Thank you.